see that we have reports in open and only one in closed council, a transparency rate of 94%. To the reading of, so I'd ask everyone and as I call upon Pastor Michael Mahanu of the Casey Seventh-day Adventist Church to read the prayer.
Gracious God, vast souls, we humbly ask you to give your blessing to this council, God, according to you, so that the decisions we make truly be for the well-being of all the people of the city of Casey. Grace and love far from us, where wisdom and understanding always prevail. Amen.
So Michael Mahan, I now, like everyone, while we call on Ms. Robin Zeddens, JP from the Casey Multi-Faith Network, to read the faith statement. Thank you.
We bring from the Casey Faith Network to the councillors and the people of the city of Casey. The Casey Multi-Faith Network is a representation of religions and faiths committed to working together towards the promotion of peace and understanding community. Believe in the dignity of all humanity. Therefore, we rights of all religions, practice and celebrate their own religion and promote their own faith. We respect the rights of our hold their chosen beliefs. We will model responsible citizenship, respect and friendships through cooperative action and action, understand trust within the community. And we support Council in strengthening Casey's communities and in promoting and respecting diversity.
Thank you, Robin. Would everyone please be seated? The city of Casey acknowledges that we are on the traditional land of the Bunurong and Wurundjeri people and pays respect to elders and present. Do we have any apologies tonight? There are no apologies. Suspension of law.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the local law be suspended till such a time as you determine to.
Can I have a vote for that, Councillor? Is there any dissent? Is carried. You may proceed. I think it was the
thank you, Mr. Mayor. Absolute pleasure to rise tonight. Urge the Casey North Information and Support Service, and particularly the significant that they've recently celebrated, Mr. Mayor, of 20 years, their 20th added here, Mr. Mayor, a certificate that acknowledges this critical stone, which is co-signed by yourself and also by Flannery and I partners, and also underscore the great work that this organisation does and the wonderful service that to people now. This time of the year, about to approach the festive season and the Christmas period, knowing that there are so many families go without even the entities, the presence. So great work that is done in the organisation, and an organisation that has respect, the admiration of Casey, but indeed the respect and admiration of the vast majority of our community. So congratulations to all. And if Susan McGee come up to accept these certificates on behalf of the organisation, if she's in the audience tonight. If not, I would sit along with Karen at the organisation. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Now say the Casey North Information Support Centre, along with our other support centre in Cranmer, do an outstanding job. Food, pets, all support for families in need. And I just want to endorse everything Councillor Aziz has done, and congratulate Councillor Flannery for really supporting the work up there. Award. Thank you. I now determine the local law reapplied. Confirmation of minutes. Is there a mover and second to confirm the minutes of the meeting held on Tuesday, 1st November 2017? Moved by Councillor Rowe, seconded by Councillor Flannery. Is there any dissent? That is carried. Moved and seconded to confirm the closed council on Tuesday, the 21st of November 2017. Councillor Aziz and Councillor Flannery. Is there any dissent? Carried. We now move to declarations of interest. Does any councillor have any conflict of interest or that they wish to interest may be declared immediately for the consideration of the item? Councillor Stapleton.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I have two that I have a conflict on, and the first one is 6.3, indirect conflict of interest, being an indirect financial interest, and item 14.1, an indirect duty.
Thank you. And Councillor Smith, did you? You have to declare you have a conflict and then declare it when the items.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Mr. Mayor, sorry, 6.1. Now said 6.13.
6.13 and 14.1.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. We'll now move to reports. Are there any agenda items councillors wish to withdraw for further discussion? And we'll you, Councillor.
Thank you very much, Mr Mayor. Item 6.1 and item 6.11.
And thank you.
Thank you.
Item 6.2. Councillor Aziz.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. 6.3, 6.4 and 6.5.
Thank you. Rosario? 6 point. Councillor Cristani?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. 6.13.
6.30. Are there any items to do with? Is there a mover and seconder to adopt the recommendations contained in officers' reports as follows? Point 6.8, 6.10, 6.12, 6.15, point 16, 6.17. Moved by Councillor, seconded by Flannery. Dissent. Then that is carried. Question time. Each question out and then an answer. There is a limit of 2 questions per person. Members of the public are not permitted to comment. Members of the public can contact us after during office to discuss anything that they may have. And I'll hand it over to Ms. Shuna Frost to do question time.
Council is at the early stage of planning for the development of its 2018-19 budget. Further engagement will be undertaken with the committee on this project coming months. Council will endeavour to have the lowest rate rise possible whilst delivering the necessary infrastructure and services to its community. Council has thorough application processes in use during the development of its budget. This is to optimise efficiency and effectiveness of resources.
Thank you, Mr Davis. To officers that have been or discussed, and we'll head to point 1. Councillor Stapleton.
Thank you very much, Mr Mayor. Mr Mayor, I'd just like to slightly alter the recommendation with my councillors approval.
Well, it's not seconded.
No,
Councillor,
you don't need to second it yet.
No.
Thank you, Mr.
I'll come back to you, ma'am.
Council report, full stop out of here, please, and remove the 2 words from the next line, so council review, that is 1 sentence. Council note the report, and add the word and, yes, and the material variation. Great. Yep.
Okay. Do you want to move it? Seconded by Councillor Rowe.
Thank you, Councillor Rowe, and thank you, Mr Mayor. Just wanting to clear distinction this particular reporting framework and the full year results for 2016-17. And just like just I'd start by saying that LG PRF performance indicators were released to the public on the 1st of 2018 on the council website. It's a good website. The data shows that Casey has made some great improvements in many of the years service areas of 2016, and that council delivers many high quality services to the community. Overall, Casey has performed in comparison to other councils, and what interfaces the middle belt between the regional and the city councils, as well as the state average in the majority of areas. Casey's key highlights include council prepares one of the most reliable waste collection services in the and council significantly recycling than other council and diverts more than 52% of all rubbish to landfill. Council performs to food safety, being quick in food complaints and stringent in completing food safety assessments. Council made just 2.6 decisions in council and significantly 3% last year and 37% in 2014-15, demonstrating council's ongoing and emphasis on more transparent fellow councillors and the wonderful executive team and officers for that fabulous result. I think we've done that very well. Council, a significant increase in participation in maternal services by Aboriginal children after improving accessibility to the service. Another round of applause. That's fantastic. And council managed roads well, resulting in a lower rate of requests from residents regarding roads and high community satisfaction in comparison to average. Bear with me, Mr. Mayor, I've just got a few to make. We acknowledge that there are some areas to improve on. Council has seen a year-on-year in the participation of Aboriginal maternal child and health services. However, we are still on the lower end of the range. This year, a dedicated maternal and child service provides sitting to families with which increase the uptake in the service. Council anticipates further improvements on this again next year. Of maternal child was the higher range, but comparable to other interface councils such as Yarra Ranges and Melton. We've taken a proactive approach of planning decision applicants avoid them VCAT where possible, providing a better customer outcome and a better experience with council. This can impact on the next to come to it. However, Casey takes a similar amount of time to other growth councils such as Hume, Wyndham and Whittlesea. Continue to review our sources and help our planners reach quicker outcomes. However, it is worth noting Casey has among the fewest number of VCAT in Victoria, where really these difficult, complex decisions right. And finally, Council has already implemented a number of digital improvement to improve the process and to explore ways to make further efficiencies, including reviewing resource levels and processes, continue to add to the state government's planning complete. And if Mr. Mayor, I encourage everyone to go on to log on to www.knowyourcouncil.gov.au and have a look at these results compared to other councils, and I look forward to seeing further improvements in our performance again next year. Thank you every one of you for this really encouraging result, and I think in some areas we're doing really well, and it's just fantastic that we've identified some areas that we need to work on. Congratulations.
Stapleton, questions or dissent on that? That is carried. I'll withdraw item 6. I'll move the name. Can I have a second to allow Mr. to talk about the quarterly report? Seconded by Councillor Flannery. And I'll ask Mr. Tyler to discuss quarterly performance report.
Thanks very much, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, councillors and the community. CEO of Case responsibility Overall, council progressed 66% tracking on schedule already completed. Of the 6 actions marked as not met, 4 were due during the quarter but will be completed during the current October quarter, and due to the October to December period, but will be completed early in the new year. Throughout the quarter, Casey has continued excellent service to residents on a daily in an efficient and effective manner. Just some of the highlights from this quarter from implementing our one annual action include of the draft management plan 2017 to 21, which then went out for public consultation during August of Casey's first event on the 30th of July, where participants came together to solve real community problems. Adoption of council policy in relation to Casey's position as leader in applying technology and innovation, and to realise the benefits of partner investment. The 28 new in the quarter in the Casey Cardinia Business Hub. The adoption of Council's China engagement strategy in September, encouraging economic with China, create benefits to our economy, including access to export opportunities for local businesses and provide a mechanism for Chinese investment. These are just some achievements from the quarter that demonstrate the significance of the work the council is doing and how it benefits the community. In the question, council can implement a strong program of community engagement. The draft municipal public health and wellbeing 2017 was in the quarter, informed by local health and social data. Community feedback was sought, as well as feedback from our partners in the organisation to gain their perspective of the main health and wellbeing issues for Casey. Opinions were sought on the existing public open space, including gas reserves and plazas around the town centre and Fountain Gate Shopping Centre. Ideas for improvement and issues that limit enjoyment spaces used by council to how we design and manage public open spaces in these areas in the future. Almost one parents, carers, participate in surveys to inform development of the draft child, youth and family plan to guide how we support children, youth to grow up between 2000 and 2022. And a dog-friendly spaces policy was adopted by Council on the 5th of September. And Council's commitment to the dog-friendly spaces.
On the cupboards in there, reading. Or Polly or something.
In terms of Council's financial performance, at the quarter, the statement of performance shows a variance of $3.36 million compared to the year-to-date budget. Explanations of the variances greater than percent or 1,000 are included in the quarterly community report. will deliver approximately 350 infrastructure projects, including the completion of place. Also, a further 113 on top of this planned for delivery this financial year. Bunjil Place will continue to power ahead throughout the quarter, and the building was almost complete by the end of the question. Significant work was undertaken to reduce staff in readiness for the new operations and facilities at Bunjil Place, which were to commence shortly into the following. In summary, and I will commence the first quarter of 2017-18 in an excellent position under the strategic guidance, vision, council plan. I'm excited to see how the new services and facilities delivered at Bunjil Place will encourage creativity and entertainment. Councillors and community, that concludes this presentation on the performance of the organisation during the July to September quarter. Forward to presenting the performance next quarter of the new year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tyler. Oops. Thank you, Mr. Tyler. Any dissent questions on? Yeah. Councillor Rosario.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Actually, Mr. Tyler touched on something I was very a part of, which first time I'm it in KC, but it was an amazing experience. I had the opportunity to attend the first 2 days and to speak to the got these people put together, solve problems. You know, what do you think's the problem out there in the community, or something that we could do better? How have technology to plug in? What do you want us to do? And we said, we're not going to tell you what we want you to do, because we want you to think about very fresh your own perspective, and then feed that back into the work that you're going to do, the projects that that you'll be participating together in their group with some really innovative ideas. And and correct me if I'm wrong, through you, Mr. Mayor, to Ms. Curtin, but we won some awards on that. Participants, did they get for some of their very ideas? And could you tell us a bit more, perhaps?
Yes, certainly. Thank you, through you, Mr. Mayor. Well, I'm putting someone on the spot. Who our new lead, and he in fact won the Victorian Spirit of GovHack Award. So as state lead our smart city space, but there are also 2 other teams that were had awards. I think one of the teams is, if you want to elaborate.
Yeah, we won a national award from the Bureau of Meteorology for how we took the Vic Roads data and combined Bureau of Meteorology information, come up with some artificial intelligence to more predictively determine traffic patterns. So yeah, that
Yes,
Well
thank
done.
you.
Sorry, if I could
continue
just
on.
wrap up what I was. Very much for that. So I try to be a part of that in some small way, but congratulations to the officers for pulling together such an amazing event. If we talk performance and to the community, taking a step and really going above and beyond, thinking about now how can we get our community to help us to solve problems today, is the way that these now as well. They don't just work in isolation. They throw a problem out there in the community and they say in the online and they say, help me fix this. And together people contribute their ideas and hear the success of the first GovHack. I think it's amazing. So well done, council officers, and I hope to see this event again, bigger and better, this every year because I think a lot of value to the city. Dimension to the way we operate and want to become a smart city moving forward. This will help. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Rosario, all our speakers. Is there any dissent or any other questions that is carried? Thank you. 6.3, Casey Smart Advisory Committee is.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to move the recommendation in my name.
Seconded by Son.
Mr. Mayor, indeed an exciting the city of Casey, and it follows on neatly from the discussion initiated by Councillor Rosario on the previously adopted report. Moving in leaps and bounds to create a smart city for the future, and the time has indeed come for action in terms of the government mechanisms as well as community engagement in order to move our vision forward. And tonight's report on establishing an advisory committee is one in that path. The success story of our vision for KC cannot happen without the feedback and involvement of the community, and that includes our residents, but also our local businesses, and also many of our bright coming students. Diversity of the representatives of the proposed advisory, Mr. Mayor, will ensure a focus on outcomes that provide both a financial and intrinsic value our way forward. The strategy sets out clear goals to ensure that KC doesn't get left behind technology, or data abilities. We need to leverage all available technology and data to ensure that council services and facilities are used efficiently and effectively. It is our opportunity, Mr. Mayor, to take advantage of being at the cutting edge where it adds and is with our objective. The technology already within Bunjil Place, and also the Salandra Rise community early reflect opportunities and capabilities provided by this cutting edge technology, from the way it can be used to engage the community, to predict the requirements through of us and the way we monitor them. opportunity for the proposed advisory committee is to ensure that options are considered in creating solutions, taking into consideration what the community well in the future will be in even 20 or even 50 years. Smart City Advisory Committee provides a platform for us to oversee the work of Council in the delivery of this important strategy, to be bold in opening our doors, partner with the best and brightest minds in our community to tackle some of our biggest challenges. Mr. Mayor, the motion chamber.
Thank you, councillors. Are there any questions or dissent on that item? Then that is carried. Back to you, council. 6.4 and Smart Cities and Infrastructure Forum.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Again, I move the resolution in my name.
Moved by Councillor.
Yep, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, again, following on the Smart Cities theme, I had the absolute honour and privilege of presenting the city at this annual Smart Cities conference, which was held in the Melbourne CBD, and it is only the second one of its kind to I was, Mr. Mayor, that I was amongst a panel of speakers and representatives not only from Australian cities, mayors from over Australia, but also some of these mayors as well, including the mayor of Tel Aviv and the mayor of so was Smart Cities, but what was distinguishing the city of Casey, Mr. Mayor, is that when we made our presentation and spoke about infrastructure to put in place before you embark on a smart city strategy, we were miles and miles ahead of almost every local government or international room. The reason we're miles ahead is because we've now got all our governance systems in place. We've got all our place. We've got all things in place. And all we're now do is to push the button, given that this intellectual infrastructure has all been rapidly developing and pushed by work that many of us have done to get us to this point. And that is indeed a very exciting juncture for the city, Mr. Mayor, because it means we're serious about our vision, and it means we'll actually get quicker than many of our counterparts in the sector. And the point of that, perhaps one unintended consequence of my presentation is to make our manager Smart Cities a very, very busy man, because about 7 attendees from Australia came and said, how can we utilise your thinking? How can we copy you in your approach? Can we talk straight away? We're flying everywhere. Chris has been busy since and probably cursing me since as well. I was partly to that also through his work and the that the officers do. So Casey is about to become a model citizen in that space, and the time just left the Mayoralty. Bunjil Place is only 10% of the future. All this magnificence is only 10% of the future. I think 90% is yet to come. Our residents have some amazing outcomes that they can look forward to, Mr. Mayor.
It is, and those involved in it is it's certainly, and we are heading the way in that way. So congratulations. It really is a great effort. Are there any questions or dissent? Then that is, and is you're a busy man. 6.5.
Thank you.
Sponsorship partnership policy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, for that in my.
And second, Stapleton.
Councillor Stapleton. Another exciting policy for us, Mr. Mayor, and again an idea that's been developing for quite a number of years now on how both and the business sector partner with the City of Casey to deliver the best possible municipal government to our residents. And the policy fruition and getting some extensive interest from a number of sponsors and partners who want to make a proper contribution to the City of Casey. I want to partner with us in terms of delivering services and future infrastructure. So again, the policy that will start something and make something in this difficult and tokenistic rate capping environment will actually in spades residents, take the pressure off space, and again it's another innovation that the City of Casey now brings to the table in terms of effective government.
Thank you, Councillor Ziz. Are there any questions or dissent on that item? Then that is carried. Thank you. Item 6.6, Councillor Rosario.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to move that with some amended wording. So before we get to the Mayor, now, yeah, can we just to that line and China engagement officer? If possible. Yeah. Because it's a matter of something.
Just before we introduce, so are you ready to introduce? We need a second now.
Well,
oh, well, that's what I was asking before. You didn't declare.
Mr. Mayor, I move that Councillor Smith be evicted from the.
So can you
I believe I'm possibly history of it, but I didn't until I saw that. Okay.
Okay, thank you. We'll wait till you leave the room. Now can I have a seconder for
Yep.
Councillor Rosario, Councillor Aziz, and just I'll add another. I've heard that's related to China, but it's not exactly like yours. Yeah, thank you.
Mayor, for your indulgence. Thank you, councillors. Mr. Mayor, the Szechuan Lantern Company approached Casey about providing the venue to host a Chinese lantern festival. The event could be held on site of the old council chambers next door in April 2019. The festival showcased for to enjoy for the Casey-Cardinia region, with the potential to attract a significant number of visitors over weeks. Interest in this event is an indication of the value and potential of Casey's engagement with China. And, Mr. Mayor, with I'll also in part what I've just put up here. I believe Councillor Aziz has value to add to the discussions. But Mr. Mayor, the value of this venture of a very successful trip to China, where we established some very positive relationships, and we're to hopefully to sign very good that will benefit the city moving forward, because of all that hard work that Councillor Aziz and Councillor Smith had put previous visits and involved in that. And so I've added this wording in, Mr. Mayor, for the councillors to consider, because there is an opportunity. Phoenix Light Festival is happening right now and will finish on January 2nd. So there is a time limit involved in this, and why I'm moving. And what I'd like to propose is actually sending Councillor Smith and our Chinese engagement officer, if that is possible, go and assess how the festival is and to see how they actually execute it, as well as the logistics of how they run that, but also they pack up the kind of stuff they get, and so forth. What council officers have done in this report is started to look at the benefits, and they do acknowledge in the report that there is benefit, but what we need to see is information about what it looks like in action itself, rather than just looking at it from online resources, or perhaps hearing stories. And I'm sure as this to more, being that he was in China and had these initial discussions. And Councillor Smith as well, a very strong relationship with the Phoenix, especially the Phoenix departments. So as a side note, while he's on the, if this is successful, they've actually invited initial capacity as deputy mayor and representative of AC to speak about graffiti and vandalism and so forth at their workshop, so we can exchange knowledge. It's kind of like a mayor where we're getting two for the price of one. But in saying that, I'll leave it to my colleague, Councillor Aziz, with your indulgence, perhaps a bit more about the types of benefits and
before councillors this speaks, then maybe there's dissent, so then I'd have to ask you whether you want to speak. Reserve your right. So, is there more questions, Councillor Cristani? So,
Yes.
Councillor, do you wish to speak now or withhold your right?
I would like to speak.
Councillor Cristani.
Mr. Mayor, I take great delight in rising to support this amended regulation. Recently, the City of KC adopted its China engagement policy, and that policy is not only a set of rules but also budgetary to develop our relationship with China from an economic sense to bring to the City of KC economic growth, jobs, prosperity. Particular event which we're trying to send the delegation to the US to capture is something magnitude of Western Sand, which to that neighbouring city of ours, thousands of visitors every year. The festival will actually be a period of people from outside of the City of Casey who will then spend money in our restaurants, buy petrol from our petrol stations, and help generate economic activity. We're talking about of them. The investment that council will provide to make all of this happen is absolutely minimal and minuscule when you can compare the accrued economic activity that will actually occur in the City of Casey as a result of this trip. Now, I've been dealing with Chinese friends and counterparts for about 4 years, and I know there is a culture respect very political representation when it comes to establishing relationships and securing deals and engagement. It was that presentation, Mr. Mayor, in April 2017 that allowed the City of Casey to secure economic partnership agreement very first China to that region. Even our consultant who came with us said you'd be very lucky to get everything up and running third or fourth visit, but thankfully we were able to secure a relationship straight away from the first visit, and we're about to sign an MOU with DUG, crystallise that cooperation, and then the jobs and the investment dollars will flow straight away. So my question, Chamber, is given the adoption of the policy and given the financial commitment we've made, and given the result that the City of already seeking to see serious about China, or are we not? And are we serious about other international engagement? Are we not? We had the pleasure during the opening of the Banjul Place to host the Swiss ambassador.
I'll move an extension of 2 minutes.
Thank you.
Councillor Starbuck.
I had the pleasure.
Sorry. Carry continue on.
Thank you. Sorry, Mr. Mayor. I'm a bit rusty on that side too. So.
You're not rusty. I'm really well. You're not.
I'm Mr. Mayor of Swiss Ambassador after finding out that many of the components the Bonjour Place were actually supplied by companies that are actually in Casey and that was knowledge I did not have. And so our perspective on the world is broadening. We've got the Swiss, we've got the council. He was recently in Israel at her own expense, pursuing relationships and ideas. We are living in the city of Casey, the biggest council in Victoria, and it has every responsibility to reach out to that village every opportunity before councils do it. It's a small investment for a massive return, and it makes perfect sense to me.
Thank you, Councillor. We have dissent, Councillor Cristani.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you for both your presentations. I do have supported China, and I still. However, the trip I bad. Whether it's the timing, whether it's right before Christmas, looks like a big Christmas present.
Point of order. What councillors is?
Relevantly, and if I explain that,
yes, please do.
Can I explain?
Yes.
The timing of this is entirely beyond our control. The festival is happening in May. It will conclude with days. You know, the fact that it coincides with the new year, so be it. I'm going to run away from exception, only because it's irrelevant. I stick to the economic benefit.
May I reply, Mr. Mayor?
No, just Director. I sit with he can't. We can't control things, so everyone.
Yes, sure. So perception, I guess, is what I was going on, but if we can't run away from that in the papers. So, basically, I believe that sticking to a yearly trip is probably more doable, but in a smart city world, we can conference call, we can find out and we can those who have experience on it. Surely we can engage online and over the phone in order to have this lantern undertaken. So have a councillor go. I would support just an officer going because they are. I don't think we should go at all. So I would support that. If we could separate this from the report motion, I would be favourable. Then I would support the core report. If you wish to, Mr. Councillor Rosario. So when you're able to listen, I'll actually ask the question.
Excuse me. Sorry.
I want to interrupt because so if you would be prepared to separate it from the report, I would be happy to support the core report. But, and I would motion this separately, but I can't support it as it sits. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Cristani. Councillor Rowe, you have a question?
No.
No. In favour? Okay. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councillors will know about this trip, but after considering and listening to Councillor Aziz and knowing that I in fact encourage Councillor Aziz to stand again for the mayor first term of this council, even though I wasn't here at the time to vote, on the basis that he would continue to China a united or a common face to the Chinese, because the Chinese people do value continuity in political representation, and that is that we in government worked out in between 92 and 2000 that the engagement required the same people all of the time. Mm. They also respect and think the point that Aziz made quite correctly was that officers to contact in China take decades to through. Elected officials, senior elected officials to senior elected officials carries. An elected official dealing with a corporate head carries more weight. The chances of us in this festival to Casey is dependent upon a political...
I move that you 2 minutes. Second, Sable and consent.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. An elected official attending this or any with the Chinese is critical. To have the officers there to dot the I's and cross the T's is also a good thing. So, going to do it, we need to do it properly. We're going to engage with the executives of Sichuan Lights, and we're going to engage a very management level. So I support the motion as it's put.
Councillor Rowe, I'll jump in before Councillor. And Councillor Rowe will relate to this about building relationships, and that's what business is about. And I went with term because you're dealing with the economy in the world, almost self-sufficient, and if we can tap in and get relationships built, and I know when the Australian manager for Hawthorn of Australia meeting people, I know for a fact what I gave, I got back tenfold. If you're making the come and get to know them and build, which is what it's all about, and you're right with the titles, Mayor Emeritus and Mayor Councillor Smith is a relationship worth building, and I think we should see it through. Already, as Councillor Aziz has pointed out, been fantastic, and we do live in a wide situation. And I got on realestate.com, and all of a sudden properties are advertised well. The farmer by that farm, because it goes worldwide. Even up where I've got a small little property, the people from overseas have bought up a lot of there because it's advertised worldwide. We are wide now. We need to tap into of that, and at the end of this term, we'll sit down and we will present all the results of all the time that we're it's certainly not junkets. They are meaningful trips. I think councillors work 19 hours over there. It's not a junket, it is getting business to create jobs in Casey. And one of our our people leave, so we're going 150 people a week coming in, and the jobs we're creating are being snapped up. So we need to do what we're doing now. So we need to get think out of the square, and we need to get over and keep doing what we're doing. So that's my point of view. I'll hand over to Councillor Flannery.
Through you. I can see the economical benefits that we get into Casey. I am in the sense, when I ran for council, I said that I wouldn't support overseas travel. And I know that if I supported the China trip because I thought that economic benefit great. I also see as going into session as some council brought up here, because I think that we can get such big populations, we can get some development brought in the city of Casey and keep people in the city of Casey rather than 70% leaving. Councillor Cristani brought up systems or economic over in Africa, over in Israel. I wanted to know more about it, and it tweaked my brain. I'm going to go over there and find out what it's about. So I put my hand in my pocket and I travelled over there at my own. It was only free, but the travel put in by getting there, going down to Africa, paying for my own transport, or my and back where I was staying. Well, you know, it come out of my own pocket. I didn't ask anybody else to pay for it because I wanted to. Concerned about cost to the community.
I'll move that you get an extra 2 minutes. Extension of 2 minutes. Seconded by Councillor Jackson. Any dissent? That's carried. Continue.
So, what I'm getting at, the council, I said that I wouldn't support overseas travel. I can see the economic benefits from this, and I can pray for Casey Casey, we are the most prominent council in the whole of Victoria, and at the end, I've got to think about what my residents voted me in for, and that was to waste, but I have to support what my residents voted me in for. And unfortunately, I won't be supporting this motion. So thank you.
Thank you, Flannery, for your noted. Any other people? Councillor Aziz, did you have? Christani, sorry.
Can I add a couple, Mr. Mayor? It's a comment item. Are you aware?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Are you aware that this is unlikely to pass with the that's all I'm saying? Okay, I'm just...
Do you want someone to respond to that, or? Okay, Councillor, some other questions?
A question in relation to the pop test.
Yeah.
How long is a piece of string?
I actually had a drink beer.
Hang on.
So,
I think
okay.
We're getting to a level where we don't need to go there. Councillor, did you have any other questions?
If you Mr. Mayor, I just have a couple of observations, a couple of IUAs as well. First of all, that there is divergence of views tonight about the real value and benefit of this. In relation to Councillor Christani, is that now technology facilitate this type of observation. I just rely on the eloquent debate presented by Councillor and the Chinese friend. I like to do business, so that just won't cut it with them. In relation to Kennery's concern, what he tried to his resident, what he may now be asked to vote on, can I applaud his honour in bringing this bill? Can I also say one of the great celebrations that I've had in relation to Councillor Flannery is that once he's seen the facts, he's been able to change his mind, and he's come to declare change of mind without any fear or regret. So, can I ask Councillor Flannery to China, given the economic that you may entertain into the future, applying the same courage to of our work as you have other areas. And I can assure you that in 5 to 10 years' time, our residents will be thanking you for bringing this to their door rather than
you. Councillor Rosario, you want some up?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, I would, and a lot of the comments around have really illustrated the point I'm trying to make, and that's on both sides of the coin, Mr. Mayor, including Councillor Chris' point of risk. But let me talk about risk, which is everything we do at council, Mr. Mayor, has an element of risk. Everything we do. Building Bunjil is a massive risk. Would it the community have done? Would they see the benefits that we saw years ahead of time? And I hang off, Mr. Mayor. And what for here is in the ocean compared to what we've built. But this is very, very long term. See, relationships, as said, as well as count, relationships don't happen. We've got to continue to work on them. And we've been doing that for years. When we first did this, and I was the one who brought, if we're going to do, we have to stick to it. We have to commit. Because you can't just go to someone and say, I'd like to do work with you. The next year, it's okay to you at the moment. We don't want to spend that money. And so we've been keeping up with that. The benefits as councillor is come out. So it is about now of all that work we're doing. And I want to talk about that. It's about trust as well. Building that trust with our Chinese whom we establish relationships we just talked about. And I'll also add as well, because I think this is fair to Councillor Smith. He is our deputy.
20 seconds.
Yeah, could I?
I'll move an extension of 2 minutes. Second, Councillor, is there any dissent?
No, time flies when you're having
Please carried.
Thank you. Smith, an experienced negotiator. In fairness to him, he's had a lot of local government experience and he's done a lot of work in this space. So, Councillor Smith, to go in our interest, as I did mention earlier, you know, that political representation, that is very fair. And the fact that Phoenix to have as well adds value to Councillor Smith's presence there, and what he brings to the table is important. So, in saying that, my final comment that I'd like to see or something like this set up where we can bring people from all over Victoria to the heart of the. I truly believe that the southeast, place right education. We have so much potential here, and I think that's incredible. And I think we do need to follow that up. Like Frankston has the sculpture event, which a lot of people, and it's really impressive. I'd like to see something like that for here. So I think this is a value to what we're going, our strategy. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and to the councillors for both sides of the debate. And I seek the support of the chamber.
Councillor, I was asked, imagine what this will look like in 100 years' time, and I said that's all I can do because I won't be around. but a good debate. Everyone's had their say, and that's what a good meeting's about. So there is dissent. So I'm now going to put this recommendation to all those in favour of the recommendation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those against. 1, 2. 2, 4, so that is carried. A division. The division has been called by Councillor Cristani. So all those in favour of the recommendation, please stand. We have Councillor Rosario, Councillor Aziz, Councillor Jackson, Councillor Stable and Councillor Rowe, Councillor Ablett. Those against, please stand. Councillor Flannery, Councillor Saray, Councillor Cristani and Councillor Gillich. Thank you very much. I had a further and I'll read it out because I did hand it in but we couldn't type it up. It's, the heading is the development of a China association. Are you going to put the heading or? All right. Appropriate office and interested councillors meet with community members to assist where possible the establishment of a China association in Casey. And that's it. Yep. Yep.
Mr. Mayor, just a question in relation to this. So, with office and relevant communities, okay, so do we need to name those community groups?
Well, I haven't named them publicly because I don't have permission to name them, but the email.
So
we yes. We meet with, yeah. And what they're asking for is to be steered in the right direction. It may be councillors doing, but offering to get it going with what's required. And I'll read out some stats in a minute as to why I think it's a good idea.
Thank you. So all of us, I'd be happy to contribute some contacts as well to that. It's not already on there. But yeah.
Well, you can do that to officers and bring everyone together in one go. Thank you for your second about. Oh, question. Sorry.
Mr. Mayor, it is a great idea, and I can't wait to hear your matter. But I'm just if comments in motion talk about the charter of the association, because one association is a great things we're doing in business related. So I'm wondering if we can achieve one piece that also has Chamber of Commerce type, cultural things.
Okay.
I think that's important that we actually articulate that way. We're giving whatever's going to fall what we want to at the end.
No question. Was a question. Did you articulate your thought for that?
Yep. So I'm happy to continue by offering additional dollars to establish of establishing a Chinese association. Case that just continuation of that first. That provides both cultural, business connection, between Australia comma, and that this be reflected charter on formation. That's it, Mr. Mayor.
I thank you, Councillor Liz. I think it's an excellent idea coming on just talking about. I think if the China realise that we're supporting a Chinese association businesses locally, I think it'll go down well. I'd like to move that in my we like to see. And the reason names here, but I don't have their permission to put them up. But I will read out that Chinese population demand of establishing association has emerged, and also we've now recognised a business type of as well. 12,070 people with background living in case in 2016, and that increased from 8,000 in 2011. So that's over 4,000 4 years. A group of people has gathered and discussed that there is a need to establish a Chinese community association to provide support to family, organise activities, senior club, etc. And that etc. would now include businesses connecting with and helping and grow jobs in. So these people have written to me hoping that we can help them, steer them in the right direction and give whatever we can. I'm seeing our officers will be taking up their association, and they have people who can do that. They simply need to be steered in the right direction and supported. So that's what it is. So are there any questions? Then that is carried. Thank you very much. Point 9, Stapleton. Signage.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to just move this with slight alteration and just ask if my ward might and that is if we could include a new number 2, making the current number 2 number 3, and number that the Mayfield Ward councillors, and the mayor, because it covers Balla as well.
Thank you.
The Mayfield, yep, that's fine. Yep. As long as we remember who the relevant means, Mayfield Ward and Mayfield Bella Ward Council. Invited to a meeting prior to any consultation taking place. Thank you. Yep, that's it. Thank you.
Seconded by Councillor Rowe.
Thank you very much. And Mr Mayor, could I please just congratulate you on the fact that they have done with the work around. There is one thing that sticks in the back of my mind, and it's around wonderful service women who may not be au fait media, might not understand the fabric of, and I know that training is being offered, but some of our servicemen and women are not actually interested in learning those types of skills. They're interested in getting out in the community, doing great that they feel wonderful. So what I'd like to make sure is that those people are not left behind. I think I'm that excited about what the possibility is here, but I'm sure that we've got safety nets in place to ensure that the people that perhaps don't want to really engage with social media, and there are some, that they're behind. So that's the reason for the additional point, and I look forward to that meeting so we can talk about what kind of thinking that we're going to resolve to that. Mr Mayor, just ask fellow councillor support.
Thank you, Councillor Stable. Are there any questions or dissent on the matter? Then that is Councillor Stable, you're up again. 11. Cranbourne Carlisle Park Primary School crossing investigation.
Thank you very much, Mr Mayor. To again thank you for the great work that they've done. We've visited this issue, and the school have now come up with an alternate solution at the school crossing. The difficulty is school crossing.
Just grab a second.
Oh, sorry.
Councillor Rowe or Councillor Rowe? Yep.
Thanks, Councillor Rowe, and thanks, Mr Mayor. School crossing the school. That's what I think is most extraordinary, and this is where they're finding the difference. So I can see that the officers are doing some great work in thinking they've been to the schools, done some management surveys, and I really thank them for the work, and I look forward to the outcome of all of this in 2000. We're going to be looking at this very, and I can assure you too. So thank you very much. Just ask my fellow councillors' support.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Stable. Is there any dissent on the matter? And that is good. Now we move to an item 6.13 where Councillor Stone is going to pull it out, but Councillor Stable, would you like to conflict?
Very much. I've got an interest, and it's indirect financial interest, and I've emailed the CEO about it a little earlier, so I'm sorry, Mr.
Thank you. Do you wish to just... Do you want to say anything, or just let us...
No, Mr Mayor, I'd just like to move that.
Let me Councillor, any dissent? That is carried. Would you ask Councillor Stapleton to come back in? Somebody? Thank you. Of officers of reports of committees. Is there a move and second to receive and note the report of the Assembly of as Councillor Stapleton, second to Councillor Flannery. Any dissent? That is carried. Are there any councillors wish to this evening?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just have one petition.
Go ahead.
100 signatures. Do I need to move the motion for a seconder?
We'll type and we'll get a second so all your colleagues can see exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Need a seconder. Councillor Jackson.
Thank you, Councillor Jackson. Thank you. Be self-explanatory. Pass this over to the two of us as ward councillors, just to investigate the opportunity of getting a safety fence for the playground at Pioneers Park. This area has an area with a cafe and lots of for walking. It's a very nice area for families. So I'd commend this motion to the chamber. Thank you.
Councillor,
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a little curious on the word. So, are we asking officers to with the petitioner the options, or are we asking investigators as well to see what the issues might be, or?
This is developed.
And is there a report coming back to council the outcomes? No wording on that. And wording about reporting back to council.
I'll throw to Councillor Saray. Are you happy with that, or would you like to include some of that?
Thank you, question, Councillor. Yes, we can put like, but it does say there to develop options. So I guess those options should come back. So if
a report comes.
So if I could amend that to cater for Councillor Rosario's request.
We'll ask for leave of council.
That will bring a report back to
Any idea
council in
when possible?
Just that facility very well utilised, especially in the summer. So, as soon as possible. Thank you.
So we're all happy with wording. Have leave of council to extra wording. That's terrific. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. So or dissent on them, then carried. Any other petitions? Oh, sorry, I missed you.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I have a petition. It's in relation to crossing Suba in the South Gippsland Lynbrook Boulevard section.
Excellent.
You get that? Yeah. So it's
repeat that.
Yeah, regarding the of school crossing supervisors. Make it crossing. Yeah. At the intersection of South Gippsland Highway Boulevard in Lynbrook. If I can get a second. Oh, we need some wording, I suppose.
We do.
The first point, would the petition be accepted?
How many signatures have you got there?
Oh, sorry, 100 signatures. I take my count them.
Used to Chinese advocates.
Okay. Yep. Make this up. The petition be accepted. That officers report to council first meeting in March, first council meeting in March, and I'll take some advice from officers if they think that's too tight. What do we think? Okay, cool.
Can we have in there that the head petition
and the head petitioner be notified, and the head petitioner is Mr. Ward, who's in the room.
So you've been notified.
Been notified. And I'll be
is that the Wood or the politics?
This is the humanoid version of Jason Wood.
Yeah. Okay. Second, we need a second.
Mr. Mayor and councillors, you might be aware just how tech savvy the people are and how the media are enormous there. It can have drawbacks, but it also has a lot of success, and where people present an issue, an idea, it gains them. About 2 years ago, maybe, someone posted that they saw a child almost bowled over cars or illegally against the red at the Lynbrook Boulevard, South Gippsland Highway intersection. since then, it catapulted. A number of responses to the point there was even days ago some videos posted showing exactly what was going on with cars and trucks turning the corner, people trying to cross the road, who they were doing the right thing, they were crossing at the right time, but the trucks were going against the lights. Fortunately, the operator have identified the drivers in the video, and action has been taken, I believe, the drivers, but it's not always going to be lucky in that instance that might not happen for those drivers, but we know, I use that intersection 2 or 4 times a day, very well, dangerous it can be for pedestrian, although occasionally I get to walk across it, but most of the time I'm in a vehicle to see just the manoeuvre some people make. Children section, we've changed the bus routes, forcing some of the children in order to catch a school bus have to road, whereas previously the bus came into Lynbrook across the road. Now they are forced to, but we also know there's a lot of people in Lynbrook who won't let children cross the road. So it'll be when we have to do a count of people using it, because it quite realistically the numbers might be down simply people won't not supervise, and we cart before the horse. I don't know, but we'll have to talk to the officers. I'll talk to the officers about how we might be able to deal with that, because issue. We're not going to go out people to use it just up, although if you could tell us what day you're doing the count, I reckon we could just about pull that off. But realistically, it is people use it because it's dangerous, and in order to make it safe, we need people using it, and that's a real catch-22. So the residents in Brook and Jason got on as president of the Residents Association to get a petition done in fairly quick notice. There's only a couple of days sort of work on it. So he got 150, but look, 10 signatures would have been enough to warrant this one. So I commend it to councillors, and I look forward to a report.
Mr. Mayor. Councillor and Councillor Rowe.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is an are you aware, and that is our council is aware that this intersection is a problem a long time, as council touched on, but with deaths at that intersection, 2 children died in a car accident, which was considering a first responder, a former councillor of the city of Casey, who is still to this day shaken and traumatized experiences attest to. But some there is a safety camera on that intersection, Mr. Mayor. That camera raised more than $955,000 1 year. So the behaviours that are definitely needing to be changed over there. And over time, Councillor Smith and I in this council, with the colleagues here, wish to push Vic Road against them that there is an issue, and they finally begrudgingly admitted there might be something going on. So they've brightened up the intersection signs up there, so they've made the lights brighter, Mr. Mayor, so that people could see it from far away and it's more clear. Signage, not the flashing yellow signs that they put yellow further down so that people would know there's an intersection coming up. But all that, Mr. Mayor, and on behalf of our, still not enough. But we're hoping with the grade of Hallam Road, South Gippsland Highway, and Evans Road that may slow down the traffic as well. But my point, dangerous to say, the family definitely concerned and scared. I have a practice when I drive through the intersection. Councillor Smith might have a similar one, which is I look both ways before the intersection on a green too, because you never know who's going to come flying around. So there's definitely legitimate concerns, and I have to keep vigilant. And if guards can help to identify issues, and they can say, "Kids, stop! There's a truck coming through. Just hold it." Right. I think that if lives and it's safe, no, I'm good. Then that's the point I'm making, Mr. Mayor, and the are you aware? Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Rowe.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council, by way of understanding people might have from a comment, Councillor Smith, certainly intentionally, I said that we changed the bus routes. In fact, it wasn't us, it was the Victorian State Government under the direction, or the PT direction of Victorian, who went against the wishes of the people and the council expressed at the time. And we moved the buses side of the road. It was we made it necessary for school children to walk across unprotected roads.
Just be very quick. I feel like the Western Australian Senate election. I've just found an extra 60 signatures. So a few forgotten. So well done to Jason, and I've written Jason on here as the head petitioner. But look, yeah, Councillor Rosario, that incident, former council saw he just been to my house. Did I feel guilty after that? He'd driven out from my house and saw that accident. First responder dealing with a couple of dead children and a very distraught, very injured mother. So it was pretty horrific. And there's a long history of accidents. I think it's all basis there are accidents there. Traffic lights have had a little bit of an impact, but it's not a good impact. And of the I don't believe. Congratulations to the LRA for initiating this, and let's hope we can get some action.
Thank you. Is there any dissent on the net? Thank you. Are there any petitions this evening? Then we'll move along to notices of motion, and we'll start off 3192. Councillor Jackson.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I move that in my name.
Have a seconder. Councillor Saray.
Mr Mayor, my laptop's conveniently died, and so all my notes sitting on that. Mr Mayor, I've been contacted regarding the I'll say in 6-minute intervals now. Regarding the gum tree outside their resident here, they obviously just want us to have an investigation, look at it and petitions. But I don't think it needs to come back to a report with to council. I'm happy and have the faith in officers that this from the officers is a motion of council. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Any questions or dissent on the matter? And that is carried. Thank you. 3193, Councillor.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Just notice my name.
Councillor Rowe.
Thank you very much. Councillors, we've got some photos that I'd like to show you. And just giving you a between two retages that are about kilometres from each other. This first photo here is it's a land rise, which is not part of this notice of motion. It's 5 kilometres from screen retirement. It's a land rise, retirement right, and on the left is the newly opened community centre. And my goodness, what a beautiful centre that is. Fabulous day. Centre, great community. This belongs in the ward of Councillor Jackson and Saray. And if we could go to the next slide, that's it, opposite direction. Got a crossing directly from their village straight across to the community centre, and because the shopping centre is at there's actually a set of allow people to cross safe shopping centres. So absolutely fantastic. I think hit the nail on the head. Now let's have a look at Hunters Green. That's been around for quite some time. This is the roundabout entrance. Hunters Green is on your left, and the Hunt Village Club Village Shopping Centre is on your right. Crossing. This is almost a parade, if you remember that we're talking about buses, where they took away the bus service and the bus. Now the poor bucket goes down Lindsay, just before the walks the senior citizens across the road. So he leaves his bus unattended and walks the senior citizens across the road. That's how it is for them. The crossing is something that would get the residents of the Hunters Green village across safely. Shopping centre. There's another come here. Yep, to the left is the village, and to the right is the shopping centre. And if you see that man there, that Kelly, lovely, a whole heap of other issues to raise at the same time now. Mr. Kelly crossed the road with his dog, and if we could slide, it is a set of zebra stripes as they've got it at some land rise retirement village. And just the next slide, please. Here he goes again. Oh, man. And next slide. Thank you. And I think there's a final one. Yep, and maybe one more. So, and that's the opposite direction. It was on the right. It crossing, coming in the opposite direction. I see no reason if we can install one at Cilantro Rise Retirement Village why we can't use green, and I have lobbied very hard by the manager and the residents group there to raise this notice of motion. So I don't think I need to say much more. If you're comfortable with some questions, I'd like to put to the vote for my...
One question. Is that our road or Vic Roads? Who owns
it's
that
our road?
It's our road. Okay, thank you. Any consent on that? The notice carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councillor Stable on 3194.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. I'd like to for this notice of motion, if I could just explain briefly. I had a great meeting with Mr Coldham, Smale, and the other. We were able to with a whole gamut of things, despite my concerns about access to the Centre for Vision Impaired. We've also got with Alan Lackman, and he's actually going to come and visit Bunjil Place. Now he heads the Insight for Blind and Vision Impaired School, the Victoria, in fact, I think in Australia. It's located. He's going to come and actually have a look at Bunjil and make sure that it does tick all the boxes. And there's some other great opportunities council officers will be talking about time. But I'm very satisfied with the work that the officers have done. I just wanted to say congratulations. I don't know where any congratulations the they've done in planning for people that are blind and vision impaired. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Stapleton. 3-1.
May I move this one in my name?
Councillor Surrey, are you seconding that?
Another tree. Yes.
Made by Councillor Surrey. Proceed.
I'm not sure that's entirely my motion. My motion first bit on the I'm happy to leave it to Councillor Flannery to deal with if he wishes. In relation to the park behind these house, the gum trees that are on the border of their house and their fence, a number of times have fallen onto their roof. And this just allows support and possible solutions to be done by the officers. Mr Mayor, I've had a brief chat with the department about these, and I know gum trees and trees across the city of Casey are forever a problem, not just for myself but for all councils. And I know Surrey's motion here, which I second, policy regarding the types of trees wards and councils working towards in years to come not to have a problem. I had a chat with you about a potential new solution or way that we deal with trees and how tree complaints come into council, because they're required how we handle it. So just a bit of a base, Mr Mayor, is actively working and understands the problem that trees are causing in the community, and we're working on doing something now and into the future. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Jackson. I just have a question for Mr. Richardson. Is there, we had the height of trees on nature strips and around houses. Is that set about 15 metres now for planting? Is there a height on it though? A height restriction? Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. Well, is there any dissent on the matter? Any questions? Then that is carried. Thank you, Councillor Jackson. Other motion gone. This do have one myself. It's urgent because it's in relation to a road. Practice day hearing for this matter is Friday the 8th of December. Council's barrister has advised us that a request should be submitted prior to the hearing, which is this Friday. So we have to make a decision on it tonight. So I'll move this by Councillor Stapleton, second Councillor Ziz, assent that is urgent. Carried. I'll put up the. Do you want me to read it out, or is it going up? No. One, the council to write to you've got it here. You can't. Do you want me to keep reading? Okay. The council resolves to write to the minister. That's it. 1, 2. That's it. Yeah. I'll just give people a chance to read that. I move that in my name. Seconded by Councillor Stapleton. Council permit for the sub and located at 300 Tuckers Road, Clyde North. The requirements of condition 10 of the permit are that prior to the subdivision, Parties Road to the site must be upgraded to an urban standard, and the Berwick Cranbourne Road intersect delivered. The applicant has appealed this condition at the tribunal. The risk for council community, the condition is that a new community access a subdivision via an unsealed rural road or through existing local streets in adjacent subdivisions. Council of the view proper delivery of infrastructure, including that relating to roads, is a matter of state significance. Leading concerns the delivery of road in a growth area. The delivery of this infrastructure requires careful and orderly planning. In the absence of proper delivery of infrastructure, consequent delivery of affordable housing in a timely manner will be prejudiced. The timely delivery of the planned Berwick-Cranbourne Road, Hardy's Road intersection enable the release of 1,500 residential lots located in previously permitted subdivisions adjoining road. Conservation a 2,300 residential lots located on land adjoining Hardy's Road in the Clyde Creek Structure Plan area, where council issue a permit subdivision of that land. So it's important to those houses done, people coming out the road are with a proper roundabout, much safer for everyone. So I put that. Is there any questions or dissent on the matter? Then that is clear. Any urgent business?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I appeal to your indulgence and apologise that I haven't raised this in pre-council, but for the benefit of live council chamber. It's urgent because it concerns the safety of residents.
I'll move that be urgent. Seconder. Councillor dissent. That is moved into.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that officers liaise with the owners of the centre group. The Casey Centre.
Just a moment, councillors, I'm not sure.
That's exactly
are we keeping up with?
Yeah, the Casey Central rather shopping centre. And discuss vandalism / delinquency concerns. Currently occur at the back of the shopping centre. And facing a housing estate. And I move that in my name.
Councillor Flannery.
Thank you very much, Flannery. Yes, corresponding with a particular resident in that estate, Mr. Mayor has been active for 3 years over the period of the development of the shopping. That there are issues in relation to the particular back entrance where there has been vandalism and you know, sometimes people congregate necessarily and drink in public, and it's not a happy environment to have, particularly that it is a lovely estate and full of young families as well as elderly residents. So time for officers connect with the sentiment and just remind them of their obligations to keep the area safe for residents.
Thank you, Councillor. Is there any dissent? Councillor.
Thank you, Councillors. It's not far from there, and I can tell you, even at the front of that shopping centre, when things are quiet and there's no activity and it's closed down, there's cars congregating in the area at the front. So I guess it happens at the back where it's more protected, but certainly at the front. And it come a little bit of a grey nomads as well, which is okay. That's fine in terms of just cars congregating, people